an innocent gift. In the spring of 1970, Donna, a young nurse, led an ordinary life. During the day, she interned at the hospital, and in the evenings, she returned to the small apartment she shared with her best friend Angie. Their life was busy but peaceful. One day, it was Donna's birthday. Her mother wanted to buy her daughter a special gift to make her happy. Walking around town, she went into an old antique shop and found a rag doll with big eyes sitting on one of the shelves. The doll had round button eyes, hair made of orange yarn, and a red and white dress. She had her hands folded in her lap as if silently waiting for her owner. Donna loved this nostalgic-looking gift. She named the baby Annabelle and sat her on her bed. For the first few days, everything was normal. Annabelle just sat there, still quiet. But after a few days, strange things started to happen. The baby moves on its own. At first, small details were noticed. In the morning, Donna would put Annabelle in the center of her bed. But when she returned from school, the baby was somewhere else. Sometimes she found her in the corner of the bed, sometimes on the floor. A few times, she noticed that Annabelle's arms and legs were at different angles. She didn't even realize it at first. Maybe he had hastily placed it in the morning. Maybe Angie had absent-mindedly moved her. But then, things got even stranger. One day, Annabelle was on the bed in the morning. But when Donna came home in the evening, she found her sitting on the sofa in the living room. She looked at Angie. "Did you put her here?" Angie shook her head from side to side. At that moment, a strange fear gripped them both, but that was just the beginning. Bloody messages. Annabelle wandering around the house by herself was scary enough. But soon, even scarier things began to happen. One morning, Angie went into the kitchen and found a small piece of paper on the table. On it was a message written in childish handwriting. "Save me." Angie took the note with a shudder and showed it to Donna. A few days later, a second note appeared. "Help me." Neither of them had left these messages, written on small, old sheets of paper. Stranger still, they didn't even have such paper or pens. But the most terrible thing had not yet happened. One evening, when Donna came home from work, she noticed a strange smell. When she came in, her eyes fell on Annabelle. There were dark red stains on the baby's little hands and on parts of her dress. As if smeared with blood. The psychic's prophecy. When Donna and Angie told them what had happened, they decided to call a psychic. They wanted to find out if there was an evil spirit in the house. The medium took Annabelle in her hands, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. Then she began to speak. "This baby is possessed by the spirit of a little girl. Her name is Annabelle Higgins. She seeks peace here." The medium said that many years ago, a little girl named Annabelle died near this house. Her spirit liked Donna and Angie's energy and entered the baby. This story gave Donna some comfort. So she doesn't want to hurt us, she thought. And she kept Annabelle at home, but this was the biggest mistake of her life. Attack. Donna's boyfriend Lou didn't like Annabelle from the beginning. Every time he looked at her, he got an uncomfortable feeling. One night, Lou was asleep in his bed when he had a terrible nightmare. Annabelle was sitting in the corner of his room. But then, she stood up. She walked slowly towards Lou and grabbed him by the throat. Lou couldn't breathe. He tried to scream, but he couldn't make a sound. Suddenly, he woke up. But the strange thing was, he still felt the pressure in his throat. The next morning, when Lou took off his shirt, there were 7 scratch marks on his chest and right in front of him. Annabelle was looking at him. The Warren couple and the end of the curse. Donna and Angie called an Ed and Lorraine Warren. paranormal investigators, the Warrens examined Annabelle and told them the frightening truth. This doll does not have the soul of a little girl. There is a demon here. Annabelle was in fact possessed by a dark entity. The Warrens took the baby and locked her in a special glass box. Today, Annabelle is kept in a special glass display case at the Warren Museum in Connecticut. The inscription on the glass case reads, "Caution, do not communicate with the cursed being behind this glass." If you ever visit the Warren Museum, don't look Annabelle in the eye, because you can be sure he's looking at you. And who knows, maybe that night in your bed, if you feel Annabelle sitting in your room, you're not really wrong.